just, you know, so.
You're chapter 1.
Yeah.
You're chapter 1. And 2. And 3 probably.
They say tailbones are one of the worst, yeah.
Oh. Down you went?
Oh, 'cause you grab it and then,
Recording looks good,
oh my, oh, how
plus I'm
awful.
having Heidi take this, so. Everybody ready? Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Committee of the Whole meeting of the Village of Walton Hills of Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. Okay. Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mickey?
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen?
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon?
Present.
All of council present, along with our law director, John Montello, our fiscal officer, Nicole Sell, and our fiscal clerk, Melissa Sandwick. Okay. Any comments related to agenda items? I'd like to also welcome any residents that are watching the live stream tonight or non-residents. We are also recording the dispatch. Okay. We'll move on to item 5, finance discussion, 2026 budget. Vicki, did you want to go from there, and we'll just open it up and we can talk about whatever.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, the finance update I sent to everybody yesterday for October. For the month of October, RETA collections were up 21.49% over last year and up 10.44% for the year to date. Spending is currently at approximately 75% of the allocated budget for the year. October expenses exceeded revenue for all funds by $41,911.15. Year-to-date revenue exceeded expenditures by $644,854.72. The general fund revenue exceeded expenditures by $155,339.54 for the year to date, and the village received $9,943 in interest income, which is up just about 4.89% for the year to date, 44.89. And I don't think we had too many out of the ordinary expenditures. We did have a couple of items that we did have for road projects. We paid specialized construction. I do believe we paid for the repairs in the community room. So there were a couple things that were not typical, but overall, the expenditures were very typical for the month.
Mr. Mayor,
Hey, go ahead, Brian.
Nicole, for the general fund revenues over expenditures so far, 100 plus to the good of $155,339, as you said. Can that positive trend be expected to stay for the next 2 months, or do we have some large expenditures coming up that's gonna wipe that out.
I can't think of any particularly from the general fund, that would be, very large. So depending, I mean, as of November, it looks like we're gonna hit our budget for our income taxes. We'll be at 100%. So December will be a good indicator as far as going into next year, what revenue if we can increase that a little, which I do believe we will be able to. And I am positive, I'm feeling positive that we will have a positive number at the end of the year.
Very good. Great.
Yep, oh, that's really good thing.
Mayor Colbert.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question was kind of similar to Mr. Spitznagel's. So although you say that you don't anticipate any large expenditures from the general fund, any from any of the other funds, street construction or anything?
There are quite a few road projects we still need to pay for. I'm not sure if I listed them here.
And will any of those require transfers from the general fund to cover?
Not any further transfers. We did do one for October. That should be our last one. We'll be paying our note, which is a note we just processed today. As far as capital, it looks like we have about $450,000 in POs still out that we need to pay, still outstanding. We also have to pay back the advance that we advanced earlier in the year from the general fund, which was $200,000. That would leave us with a balance currently, which what we have currently in the capital account of negative $9,000, which will be collected over the next 2 months. So we should come out pretty even there. In addition, if we are expecting about $108,000 in reimbursements that we still have not received for projects this year. So that looks good. If we don't receive that this year and we end up with a zero balance, we'll be looking into having that for next year.
Okay, thank you.
Nikki, while we're looking at everything, did you want to touch base just on the note? I know we have in front of everybody, you should have something from Matt relating to that tomorrow. Is the 13th, or, just summarize it or whatever you think.
I think I'd rather just read it.
Okay. Whatever you think.
Okay, so a note from Matt Stasinski, our financial advisor, sent out a note for everybody that the village proceeded with the sale of $1.655 million of one-year bond anticipation notes. All of the notes were purchased by a single sophisticated institutional investor. The interest rate to the investor was 3.4%, slightly lower than the yield from last year's band sale. While interest rates have been trending lower months ago, more recently interest rates have trended higher due to uncertainty of inflation, lack of information flowing from the federal government due to the shutdown, and from uncertainty of the shutdown itself. Nonetheless, the village sale of the bands was successful and the village will receive its funding on November 12, 2025. The Series 2025 bands will mature on November 12, 2026. The proceeds of the Series 2025 bands will be used along with the cash on hand to fully redeem the outstanding Series 2024 bands, which mature on November 13, 2025. And all of that occurred today.
So we're happy about that. Got a good rate, less than last year, so good. Plus we paid down more on the note, so it's good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nikki, I just want to thank you guys, you and Melissa, for moving that money to Star Ohio, so we were getting a much better interest rate. I mean, this, just as of the end of October, we're just under $100,000 in interest.
last year altogether, we were at 89,000 from interest, and in '23, it was 28,121. So just thank you for that, because it's like found money that you did for us, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mayor Colgraf?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. This is probably for you, and well, you and Nicole. And that's, you know, I know we have various buckets of income taxes and draft and things like that. With the new construction or the new facility over at North Coast Behavioral Center, is that, how does that discussion go related to whether or not there will be additional employees? I know you guys have a JED meeting at the end of the year and that kind of thing. Do you get those will you get that kind of projection or a report from North Coast related to any potential new employees to staff that new facility over there?
Yeah, so it's funny you bring it up. November 19th, we finally were able to finalize it. November 19th, which is Monday, is it a Monday, right?
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday. It was, originally it was the 17th. They just moved it. That's the township couldn't make it. So we'll have our annual meeting and they'll talk about that. We have been trying to collect money from the construction that Nikki has, and I don't know, we've kind of been going back and forth with the township trying to get those numbers and stuff, but as far as completion, yeah, we'll get that. Those are questions that are asked, will be asked at that time. And you know, what that projection is, numbers and payroll.
Thank you.
That's a question we have. So with our meeting being the 19th and, you know, at our COW meeting in December, we should be able to answer that.
Okay.
Or even sooner, like, you know, before it and stuff, but, did we have any luck with that from that construction company?
So,
Yeah, if you wanted to touch base, I know you and Melissa were working on that, it's kind of been a challenge, but.
right, Mr. Mayor, I was trying to contact the person who was doing the construction there. They were unaware that they were to be paying tax in the JED. So I finally did get in contact with him, and it took a little while. I had to send him maps because they thought it wasn't in the JED. And so it ended up, he finally said that he's going to be talking to his accountants, and, you know, they'll straighten everything out. As far as the other, he was the project manager. As far as the other construction companies that were working there, I have a list of them, so I have to send out a letter just to let them know that they, yes, were working within the boundaries of the JED and that they needed to pay tax accordingly for the employees that work there. So that will be the next week.
Right, that would be more discussion. And what happened was, nothing on our end, it's actually, we're doing something that, I mean, we have a very good partnership with the township, but the township really kind of fell on their end, but they don't have no building department at all. They use like a third party, and so that's where the confusion came in. But between the trustees and us and Nikki and Melissa, we're getting it straightened out. So, yeah. We got a good partnership over there, and the trustees, one of the trustees contacted my office and said, you know, we're starting construction, are we getting that? And Tom, we all kind of got involved, and so it's working out. Nobody wants to pay anybody any taxes. So, there's not a real lot there, but it doesn't matter. It's about $500 we want it, so. But that is something we're gonna talk about too, to make sure they understand where that's at, and that, you know, they might have to do a little bit of pushing on their end too.
Mhm.
That's been a little bit of a discussion, so. So that's a good thing, the JED's a good thing. And I'll have more specifics as far as, because the president of the hospital usually attends the meeting. The CEO is usually there. And so there's always a very capable of giving the answers. How many, when are you gonna open up? How many, new employees? General idea what the payroll is, you know? So, me, Nikki, and Tom, attend that meeting. And you're always welcome, John, you know that, but there's enough attorneys there. No, Brooker isn't vote, but, yeah, no. Jeff Schnell, who represents, he's on the board, who represents, the townships, Walton, attorney. Because we vote, the hospital opposes it, and we all vote for it. But that's how it works. So I'll take it back. Nikki, anything else? Anything else in the budget? Anybody wants a?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
for next year's proposal, the last one I have shows a deficit of a little over $500,000, so two questions. When are we going to get another budget proposal, and your thoughts on that negative number? From my understanding of what you just said, it'll probably be less, hopefully be less of a negative number for the general budget.
Yes, we should have a number in December closer. We're still working to refine some of the line numbers. We had to increase some, decrease some. The revenue, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to increase a bit. So I'm hoping that number is definitely gonna come down. So we'll have probably another one in early December, first or second week in December. We'll get something out, if not before.
Okay.
I'm hoping to wait to see the first deposit in December, because that'll be very indicative of what we're getting for the month. I don't expect the second deposit to be quite as high. So yeah, I'm still kind of holding out for a couple of items with that. I guess my question to you all would be, I know Rob proposed about $82,000 in increases in line items. Did you want me to incorporate that into the budget at this time, or wait?
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, just for my 2 cents, whatever that's worth, 2 cents. We have the road projects, that's $593,000. Ryan and Kaylee, those are the must-dos, you know, because we've got that grant money. And that's $438,000. I would say definitely put that in, because we're gonna do that anyways, right? Put that in. There are some things, I mean, we can nickel and dime the service department. I was looking at that. You know, as far as like overtime, they're asking for, or I'm sorry, part-time, they're asking for $25,000. I don't know if that's, you know, we might be able to cut that in half to do, and get, you know, just to start, you know, if putting it in at all. But I think, you know, he did mention, Rob mentioned doing the fire hydrants and stuff like that. Those things I think need to be done. I'll go out and paint them for 25 grand.
We'll all get out there.
We'll all be out there.
Everybody take their street.
Yeah, but, you know, maybe
Oh,
that could be.
I like that idea.
Yeah, yeah, you have the shortest street here.
We have one,
You have
one fire hydrant.
one fire.
I don't even know if I have one.
There are a couple other things in there, in his, that, for example, the concrete repair. There's a concrete repair, and I know the concrete is not that good in front of the service department thing. I believe that was, I forget how much that was, $15,000 or $20,000. And the uplighting on Alexander Road for $20,000, I don't think that, you know, it would be nice to do, but I don't think it's a need to do. We went forever without any lighting in there. I don't know. That's just me. I'd like to, Rob did an excellent job getting the, for the leases of the leafer and the chipper, getting money from NEORSD for that. So whether that needs to go in right now, probably not, but I'd like to try to find that money sometime this year to do that, because I think that's nothing to sneeze at, that money. As far as the rec department, I think that lock buzzer, the lock on the door needs to be done. I think that's a must-do. I don't think we need cameras in the concession stand right now, or to pay for that, because we don't even use a concession stand. So that, I mean, that's my 2 cents. If to put in, at least Ryan and Kaylee at $438,000, and for the service, you know, the fire, smoke, yep, that needs to be done. So for my 2 cents, that should be in there.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to also include, we have not included yet in this budget the cost of the van. And from what I understood, it could be up to 24 months before we get reimbursement. So I can't include that in revenue for the year, but we will have to pay for that full amount of that van.
Okay.
In addition, I didn't include the note payment. So we're looking at least $200,000 in those 2 items alone to add to this budget.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'm pretty much in agreement with Mr. Spitznagel. These are the things that we know we have to do. I mean, we know that the paving jobs are the biggest, and probably the most important. I'm pretty, you know, so I'm in agreement with what we have in front of us right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments at this time? If not, we can move on to,
Mr. Mayor,
yeah, go ahead.
is it possible to get that buzzer at the community building for this year's budget? It's only, what, like 3,000 or 4,000?
Mr. Mayor, I had talked to Mr. Wheaton, Council President Whedon, and there are some of the items on that budget that we probably could fit into this year. And right now, I don't have it in front of me, but there are some of the smaller items. She didn't use all of her budget. If you look at the financials under quite a few line items, we're only at like 40, maybe 50%. So we might be able to purchase some of those smaller items this year and get those out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go ahead and let her know that, you know, how much
Right.
we have left and how much she can use.
I think that would be good, if there's something in there that we could get bought and paid for
Right, absolutely.
in the next
Mhm.
6 weeks.
Rush to the end.
Yeah, but it's the
Oh.
important things.
Right.
Like Brian said, there are some things in there that should be done.
Right.
That, Mr. Mayor, that concrete drive was $16,000 in front of the service garage, or service building.
Mr. Mr. Mayor, and that we wanted to include in the budget?
I
We're
don't-
waiting.
I mean, it doesn't look too good, but I think, I mean, this is just me, I mean, I'm only one.
We might
I
be
think
able to
that
wait
can
till
wait till
June.
the spring
you know,
anyways.
halfway through.
Put it in, yeah.
Mhm.
You're not gonna do it in the wintertime anyways.
Right.
The other thing that mentioned, and maybe we should talk about it, is whether or not we want, the leasing of police cars or whatever. Police car, we do, might have to get one at least, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mr.
Definitely
Mayor,
for
I did,
sure, maybe more, but at least, but go ahead, you got something to add to that, Nikki?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but,
No, you're fine.
yes, so he said that 2 new vehicles would be $23,000 approximately, and then 20-some thousand dollars to upfit each of them.
Mhm.
I was thinking that we could probably reduce the repair and maintenance budget in our general fund. In the capital fund, every month, a portion of the traffic tickets go into the capital fund, and I don't think it's ever been actually separated out, but that's about $15,000 a year. So I'm thinking if we did purchase those 2 vehicles, that would be most of the payment.
Beautiful,
Wonderful.
that's why we did it.
And then maybe if John, I'm not sure if we can use one of those other funds to pay for the outfitting, we can look into that, then it wouldn't affect the general fund at all.
Very good.
Okay. And then some of the other items, we can do what we did last year, get those in, pass an operating budget with some of those capital, and then look at everything as we go. I mean, that's where everybody's leaning, but we'll wait till Nikki and Melissa get, but I'm glad you're working on that too, that's good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I'm really looking forward to a great day coming in up here. I mean, I think it's gonna help us tremendously, starting the first of the year, hopefully they're in, and, I haven't heard anything about where they're at as far as, the progress on the build out, but I could check into that, see where we're at there.
They're moving on it,
Yeah, I know they're,
interviewing people, and
yeah, they're
let's
working.
just hope they can get 225 or 200 manufacturing jobs, right?
Are all of those new jobs or some transfers?
Now those are all gonna be.
All new.
All new.
At least that's what they would like to anticipate. That mean, who knows, if we might have to move people, but we won't see that, even, so what we might see is some of the permitting, some revenue from the permitting and stuff, depending on that. But yeah, no, we're still not
Well, 6
quite
months,
there yet.
6 months in, we should have an idea.
Yeah.
6 months in, we should have an idea, so.
Did you guys want to move on to anything else for 5? You can always come back to it. You want to move on to, start talking about 6 a little bit? Okay. John or Nikki, what do you have what you have in front of this memo here, Suzanne put together for us, myself, John, Suzanne had a meeting yesterday just to kind of talk about it, and she put, because I know we talked about it last week, and we wanted a little more clarity on actually what we were, looking at, and so Suzanne put this together. John or Nikki, if you want to talk to it a little bit, or just kind of give us an idea and what we're asking council to do, to go after unpaid camera tickets.
Yes, sir, Mayor. All right, so as you know, I think the contract with the collection agency allows us to assess a 35% collection fee in addition to the judgment. We just want to show you what that would bring revenue-wise to the village based on these estimates. With with the 35%, it's about 80,000 per year, and without, it's about $50,000 per year. That's estimating that only 25% of the photo citations are paid. That's that number came from, I believe, the collection agency. You know, that not everybody's gonna pay, you know, you could try to collect it, but, you know, most people, well, not most, a lot of people will ignore it. So you can't count on collecting it out, but in any event, it's, I thought we should discuss and make sure that's what you wanted to do. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't wanna do it, but I did look at our ordinances. It does have language in here that I'm running by the collection agency, where it does say already in here that default in collection, failure to timely elect and perform one of the payment options contained above shall constitute an admission of the violation and a waiver of the opportunity to contest the violation. Further, if the registered owner fails to pay the penalty within the period set forth, the penalty along with additional fees may be collected by civil suit or other appropriate means of collection. So I'm asking the MCO, that the collection company, whether that's, well, you know, they feel that's appropriate, but if not, we did research what Newburgh was doing, and I do have the language that they have in here, which is a little more clear than that. You know, it says, if a judgment for a civil penalty under the chapter is, you know, if the court issues such a judgment, the village may seek payment together with any applicable interest and costs thereon in a manner authorized by law, in addition to any other fees or charges authorized by this chapter in relation to the commission of a traffic law violation. A person will be liable for penalties established under this chapter, may be assessed any costs incurred by the village in the collection of the debt, including but not limited to attorney's fees. So it's a little more, you know, it's a little more, it pretty much says the same thing, but it's a little clearer, you know.
So would that be an ordinance, John, or?
Yeah, I would just add it to the current ordinance, amend it to the current, you know, unless they tell me they're satisfied with the current language of our current ordinance. I was looking at it and I said, well, wait a minute, we already have it in there. So I sent an email to MCO about it and hope you have a response back. I just sent it today, and so hopefully we'll have a response by, but if not, I can crank out a piece of legislation, assuming that's what you want to do, you know, to clarify it.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go
I
ahead.
would be for putting the extra fee on there for the collection agency they're doing all that work, trying to find the correct address for these people and everything. I really feel you get a ticket, pay it right away. If you don't, there's going to be fees, and it's going to cost people more. So I would be for adding that on there.
How does everybody else feel?
Well, I have a question, but in general, yeah, I think if you're gonna go through the effort to, you know, collect through a collection agency, you don't want to take away from the eventual proceeds that would come back to the city or the village. But my question is on the actual estimate that's shown here, you know, with the 1,620 unpaid citations, and then the total, the 285,000. Should we really look at a if it's eventually 25%? Should we really be calculating this as 1620 times 0.25 as the maximum gross? If we're estimating that it's 25%, and then deduct what GATSO get as well as MCOA. They don't collect it. They don't get their fee if they don't collect. Is that correct?
The collection company?
Yes. Yeah. So it may be, well, in my mind, I'm already kind of, I was trying to pull up my calculator to kind of redo these numbers, because it seems, you know, if we're showing that we're less the $33 for GATSO, that amount, that's based on the 1620, not on the 25% collector. So I think we need to, those numbers, our actual, bottom line, I think our numbers would actually go up. Yeah.
She's adding the collection fee to the total. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, versus what's actually collected. And is that the same at GATSO? They get paid on what's collected, not what's issued?
Yes,
And
but the court does get
The
their.
court gets there, that one I'm clear.
So and the reason I had asked Suzanne to put this together, when we talked about it last week, you know, there was numbers being for, 400,000, this and that, and it wasn't realistic. I mean, we're not even collecting that much in total tickets, let alone how you collect that same amount in late fees if you're not even collecting that in your regular ticket fees. So, I wanted her to put something together that was realistic, that was real, and that's what you have here. So if it's higher, that's okay, but at least we know we're not spinning our wheels for $1,000 or $2,000. I guess that was the purpose of this to show that there's, you know, and even just from the legal standpoint, people should pay. It's not fair to the people who come in and pay. It's not fair to those people, the people who just say, hey, I'm not gonna pay. So this is, if anything, Ray, you're right, it probably would increase, but, you know, 40,000, 74,000, that's a lot of money.
I'm shocked that only 25% of people who get a ticket pay.
That's 25% of election. Not just 20, that's 25% of, from the collection piece, right? Not just 25%.
Not 25% of the overall tickets.
This is just 25% of,
The people who haven't paid, they expect only to collect 25% of those.
Okay, because this is worded kind of weird. It says
Yes.
approximately 25% of all photo citations are paid. So is that telling me that only a quarter of the people who get a ticket actually pay it? Is that what that's saying?
I'm not sure what you meant.
Yeah.
Because it,
I
Because it's
think we
got
took it,
two-
I think Ray jumped, I think it is actually 25% of all photo. But we can clarify that.
But that's why we need to get a collection agency involved, if that's true. You know, 'cause
well, yeah, because that's abysmal, and,
Yeah.
you know, I know the argument is, well, people don't learn unless a cop gives them a ticket. That's baloney. I've gotten tagged I got tagged up there by Kitty Park up there, Memphis Kitty Park, you know, we're taking our nephews there, and I got tagged there. I learned,
They're all over
don't go
now,
more,
aren't they?
yeah, I learned right
Oh, yeah,
away.
they're all over.
I mean, that craziness of, oh, you don't learn, yeah. I learned the hard way.
The thing too is, a lot of people still feel that the Ohio Supreme Court hasn't rolled on it or anything, and they still think it hasn't been
Yeah,
ruled
but they have.
constitutional, but they
Many
have.
times.
So and more and more you see it. I know I was talking to a guy at work, he got a couple in Menor, I don't know if it's Menor or surrounding thing, but it was pretty far out east, are using traffic cameras out there too. So it's not just Cuyahoga County, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Lake County, that is.
Actually, Mayor, they, on the notices they send out, they revise the notices on the tickets to say that the Supreme Court that's anticipating people are gonna make those arguments. They now have a 2-page notice that they send people that says it's legal, so that if they were thinking it wasn't, the court's telling them it is. So hopefully that does some good.
So I guess where we're at with it is, John, if the company says it's okay, and that the legislation's okay, that what we have existing, does council need to take any action at that time? Or do we just need a motion saying we're okay with moving forward with the collection? Or,
You guys already authorized the contract. I guess we could do it that way if you wanted to make a motion, sure.
or whatever you think. I
Yeah.
just want to get an idea, so if there is something for next week, you're not surprised.
It's either a motion or I'll redo the ordinance. How's that sound? That the motion to authorize the collection agency to proceed with the 35% fee on top of the cost of the ticket, something along those lines.
And then I can clarify this with Suzanne, or maybe even Suzanne's. Suzanne's pretty well versed on it too.
Yeah, she used to represent Newburgh. She was involved with Newburgh at the beginning of the tickets.
So if the existing, we would have legislation for that on next week's meeting too. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Any questions related to that? To item 6? Suzanne did a good job on it, though. This breakdown. This is a good idea where we're at. Other business, anything for other business? At this time? You can always come back to that. Did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask while we were here, I just thought of it. I wasn't sure if you had seen the email that Chief had sent to you and myself about expanding the Lexipol contract. We initially told them the beginning of the year that we would try it for a year. And Chief had in the email that all of the grants that are out there, there's over $600 billion in grants for police, fire, EMS. So I did tell the chief that you would be able to extend that yourself. It wouldn't have to be something that goes through. But if we extend it this year for a second year, we won't get hit with a price increase because it'll cover us through 27, beginning of 27.
Have they filed for any of those grants yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And it, the expenditure's over, what's the expenditure? What was
I think it was 7,500 for the 2 years, and we only took a 1 year, so.
Yeah. So I would need, it worked out good, I would need to notify you if it's over 7,500, so if you guys are good with it, or I'm good with it, there's your notification, and maybe we can do that. You're good with it? We find some money for that, right? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. Do they charge for each grant, is that correct?
2 full free ones, and then there is a small fee for them. It's all in there. I can forward you the email if you'd
Okay.
like.
That'd be
And
great.
anyone else that would like to see it.
Mayor Colgraf,
Yeah.
any update on some of the work that they've done already?
I have nothing to update, Jen.
With,
Lexipol.
oh, there's a few. One of them is for the updated tablets. They're not tablets, they're not tough books, but the computers for the police officers. Those went down August 14th because the state of Ohio said you must have Windows 14, and we were currently on Windows 10. So everything is very slow moving right now because one of the grants that they did apply for was for over $50,000 worth for all of these computers and the vehicles. But we won't know about that until around Thanksgiving.
And is there a date on the big project, on the police officer project?
Not that I know of yet, but I do know that Chief was looking.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any of them.
Okay.
Good. Any other business? So we can always come back to it if you think of anything. John, you want to, is everybody okay just to move forward, and then we can always come back to that before we adjourn or whatever. John, you want to talk about number 8 a little bit?
I believe
We've already done that before, but it just to kind of, you went to class, you meet
I believe the auditor requires, or the state of Ohio requires, someone to be designated person to take the mandatory 3-hour sunshine laws training requirement as specified by the code section stated there for all elected officials. I can take it on your behalf, but in order to do that, you have to make a motion to do, or you're welcome to take it yourself as well. It's not like was it a 3-hour thing? It was about 3 hours long. kind of advanced, because but it's also good, it's simple, but it's, some of it's for lawyers, really. It's kind of in-depth, so, but the auditor likes to see this. Am I correct there, Nikki? They want someone designated to take it. That's
Correct.
recommendations we've had in the past, so.
Mr. Mayor, I've taken a couple of those. I went to a couple of them. They're interesting. We're not a waste of time.
Mr. Mayor, I do believe for all new council members, it's required. Diane took it.
I took it. It took me more than 3 hours, though.
And you're all members of the OML.
Yeah.
You know.
Mr.
Pay
Mayor,
those fees.
and Nikki, could you check, because the change of info form that I just turned into Melissa, it says that we need a sunshine law certificate every new term.
I believe
So-
that's
So you
correct.
need one every single term.
I will look.
I'll just make a copy of my old one.
Yeah, change it.
So I think it'd be a good idea if someone would make that motion. It could be made tonight, right? Or is that what it's on there for? Should we make it at the council meeting?
Whatever you guys want, let's do it now, get it over with, huh? One less thing to worry about.
I mean, everybody's good with it, and then John usually handles the public records up. You know how it works. If there is anything in department heads, they get the information together, if it's there, then they go. I make sure everything goes through John before it's put out, which we should, because he's makes a decision on what is considered a public records request, a legitimate one, and what isn't.
I also do it for other communities as well. Bedford, I'm the designee for Bedford. So it's not just our village, it's Bedford, Bentleyville, any other city I work for. I'm the guy, I'm lucky the guy, the public records guy. But anyway, what are you gonna do?
And you've been doing it a long time.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to appoint John Montello, Law Director, as a designee for the purpose of fulfilling the mandatory 3-hour sunshine laws training requirement as specified under Ohio Revised Code, Sections 109.43 and 149.43E for all elected officials of this public office for the current term.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
A motion passed 5-0. I know we kind of, well, we were on other business. Councilwoman Jennifer Allen brought up about some of the safety and safety issues. I wanted to let Jennifer, Fred, and Brian know, the swearing in. I mean, we got a month, but we'll do the same if everybody's good. Think about it, January 1st like we do, and have, same kind of thing we had last time, and who you want. If you don't have to, I could ask, you can always have Judge DeCastro or Judge DiGeronimo. They usually go around together, unless you want somebody else, but if, think about it. Just wanted you to think about it, that's all. So, that's all good, and that. Anything else? Do we want to go back to finance or anything? Any other questions on that? I guess where you want to just kind of go over where we'd be looking for next week? Do we want to,
Mr. Mayor?
yeah, go ahead, Jen.
I had asked Nikki for some information, and in our motor vehicle license tax fund, we have $179,500+ that's in there as the pooled balance. And this is saying, and we would need to clear it for sure, but it would, can be used for the purposes of purchasing, erecting, maintaining street traffic signs, markers, purchasing, erecting, and maintaining traffic lights, and signals and to supplement revenue available for such purposes. It also goes on to say, or is that the? So I'm just wondering if some of the stuff that Rob was asking for could go through this. Planning, improvement, construction of state highways, paying municipal corporations portion of compensation, damages, costs, expenses, and also paying debt service charges on notes or bonds. So if we could look into that, you know, we may have some money there.
For which specific use are you, I mean, what purchase are you want me to research?
Oh, this is section 4504.06.
But I mean, which project would I be trying to make this work for?
Well, the lighting that Rob had talked about, and also some of the repairs that we are needing to put out money for.
Like a little minor, like the annual street repair we do, kind of sort of thing?
Stuff like that, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, let me take a look, I will. Why not, it's just sitting there, I gotta use it for something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this the fund we took and bought the truck for because he was gonna maintain the vehicle, the road with it, with the,
We paid it out of 2011, just the regular street fund, I believe.
gotcha. Maybe that's, I researched the street fund, all right,
Mhm.
gotcha. Won't take long, I have an answer for you next week.
Thank you.
Anything else? So I thought we don't, legislation we possibly would be, the camera, collection, legislation, authorizing that. Otherwise, we really don't have anything else at that time, so I thought I'd put finance discussion in 2026 budget on the council meeting, you know, and if you have more information, if not, Nikki, that's fine. But as we keep going, we got a couple small things, you know, like, using some of the money and also the lease for the police vehicles and some of those unanswered things. So I thought I'd put that on there, and so we'll see what we have, and if anything else comes up, we'll add that too.
Mayor Colgrove?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a question, as you mentioned the lease, potential leases. And of course, the world has changed as it relates to interest rates. Is there room for negotiation with the various lease companies, whether it's police car, other vehicles? You know, I know we have some quotes with, you know, certain interest rates right now, but interest rates in general have come down, which of course will impact our Star Ohio eventually. So I'm just curious if there's an opportunity to reach out and see if those interest rates have changed for the potential leases.
We can get an update.
Yeah, because we haven't entered into anything, so we certainly would want to enter into a newer rate if it's there, unless there was some kind of a lock-in or whatever. We get government pricing, so, you know, whatever dealership we go to, it's the same that we do.
On the base vehicle,
on the lease vehicle.
but at the lease, it's the interest portion. So.
Right.
Nobody likes to pay interest any more than they like to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Or camera ticket.
Or camera.
Any other business at this time? Any other thing anybody wants brought forward or next week, or if not, let us know. We can put it on it. We'll go from there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Our pancake breakfast, I wasn't able to stay the whole day, but I was definitely there for my pancakes. It was delicious. I always enjoy it, but I'm sure your ceremony and everything, how did that go?
It went real well. We, and I appreciate Councilman Nielsen. It's always hard to get veterans to talk, you know, about their experience or just what Veterans Day or Memorial Day means to them. And we had a veteran who served in Vietnam on the front lines as a medic, was in the Navy and then enlisted in the Marines. Kind of an interesting story. It was really nice. And then his wife, who they were engaged at the time, was of course here. And you know, you didn't have electronics, you didn't have everything, so it took 3 weeks. It took 3 weeks to send a letter, another 3 weeks to get a letter back. So she gave a perspective on what it was like to be on the other end of a loved one who was serving our country. And it went really well. It was well received, and like all of them, they're all good. It was good. It was really nice. The only thing that was kind of yucky, a little bit of the weather, but we did it inside. It's our second year we did it inside. It was just cold and damp, and I don't think, you know, it's hard for people to talk when you're not comfortable and stuff, and so it was pretty emotional. Some of the veterans there got a little emotional about it. So, made you remember, just like yesterday, Veterans Day, how lucky we are. We doing what we're doing right now because of the men and women who serve this great country and are serving it right now. So we're lucky for those freedoms. So thanks for bringing it up. So thank you to all our veterans, and I did express that at you know, our veteran service from all the council and the residents. So it went well.
Good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking, and thanks, Fred, for getting that keynote speaker. It was nice. We had a good turnout. What would you guys say, 35, 40 people probably?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything, well, we'll get Santa delivery coming up. We got tree lighting, a lot of things in December we'll be having too, so we'll talk more about that. Nikki, to get back, is the Lake Club, we have the Lake Club contract, we have that in there in the budget right now, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I did say that at the meeting, I want to make sure I spoke correctly. They had their annual meeting, they did elect trustees. Jeff Alexander will serve as Lake Club president, starting the first of the year. Sean McCormick is backing away after almost 10 years of doing a great job. 9 years, I think, is Lake Club president, 10 years as a trustee. So, big undertaking. You know, so still be an active member. Leaving the lake in very, very good hands, and she did a great job. I believe the lake money in the bank. They're doing very well, so I want to thank her for that, for volunteerism, and also Lloyd. He was the controller. He's going to enjoy his retirement too. And Mary, she's taken over as the controller. So, but thank you to both of them too on behalf of the village, because I did express from this council and stuff, we have a good partnership with the contract, and it offers our residents and our kids an opportunity for swimming and just going down to the lake and a different environment for parkers and stuff. So we look forward to another year. So I'll probably meet with Jeff after the first of the year. It sounds like the contract would be the same from what I understand. So good. Very lucky to have volunteers like we do with the OWL, and the Lake Club, the Women's Club, and anything else before we? Okay, I'd like to ask for adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Whedon. Vote on adjournment.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, meeting will be adjourned at 8 PM. Thank you, everybody. Have a good week. Kind of weird pulling up and see all those cars, you know, you're thinking, they're not used to those if it was a Tuesday. Yeah.
Who was in
I
there?
thought they were all over
Looked like
there.
the women's club was in there.
I saw Mrs. Day.